to the Anti-Bias episode 2. With me, as always, Ian, the man with a million nicknames, like Hampo in English, Hampo in Afrikaans, Roy is Fourie, DJ Rooibart, and about 998,000 others.
There's others that you don't know about as well.
No,
We'll just keep it to that. Yeah.
Welcome, Hampo.
Cheers, Boykie.
Good to be here with you.
Yeah, likewise. Always lekker being here. And big thank you to our crew sitting in the back there who make everything happen. Magic stuff.
Yeah, like always, Hampo, we thank Bits and Pixels for bringing us this amazing production.
100%. Yeah.
We just thought we'll share a bit more about Bits and Pixels and what they actually do on the screen. As you can see, and as our viewers can see now, it's not only just podcast and streaming, but software and app development, logo and brand identity, website and marketing, e-commerce and online stores. So if you're looking at optimizing your website, looking at how you can do your website a bit better, looking for some nice things, if you want to build e-commerce websites or online stores, add that to your website. If you want to build a nice app, Chris is your man.
There you go. 100%.
But yeah, as we always say, big thanks to them and for what they've done and what they do for bowls, because this is not for us. This is for bowls and for the bowler out there.
Correct.
So let's start us off with tonight's program. Plenty bowls happening over Easter weekend.
Yep.
Not only in Cape Town, but around the country as well. We're going to start us off with the Benoni Big Bash that was held at Benoni, I think it was Country Club, where Team Shosholoza successfully defended their title for the second year.
Okay, nice.
And I asked Joyce Villempini just to give us a little bit of a breakdown. Like, we'll give you a breakdown of each team that won over the weekend. So the Benoni Big Bash, Team Shosholoza successfully defended its title at the Benoni Big Bash, showing great resilience and spirit throughout the tournament. The team, Victor Sapali was skip, Michael Mashabella was third, Sipho Villempini was second, and Joyce Villempini was lead. They dug deep in crucial moments to emerge victorious in a fiercely competitive field. Now, in the second year, the Benoni Big Bash is fast becoming a flagship event with the EKB district, drawing players from across the country. It stands out as one of the best-run club tournaments, where the warmth, passion, and pride of the well-organized club create a truly memorable weekend of bowls. Team Shosholoza is proud to be part of the competition of this caliber at Benoni Bowling Club. With each year, the challenge grows stronger. Rivalries become friendlier and memories richer, both on and off the green. A hat-trick beckons, and Shosholoza is ready for the challenge.
Okay, well done.
So well done to them. Then the Constantia Classic, Hampo, you were there, you were present.
Yeah, look, what a weekend. Yeah, I mean, you've played that a few times. You've played that a few times over a few years, and it's always a good one. It's been going for a very long time. Very well organised. Got to take my hat off to Billy G and Brett van Eysen and Raggers and the boys in the background there. And it was such a good crowd. 3 full greens. Weather was good, you know. So and then the boys from Durbanville coming out of the northern suburbs there, just, you know, showing their class and coming in there with a clean sweep, then lose a game.
Okay.
Kevin Smith and Luciano, there you can see them up there. And Richie Rich, as we call him, and Davey O'Hearn, we call him Matey. They're a class out for the weekend. It was, you know, and it wasn't, let's call it tricky, as we said. We're going to call it tricky as the surfaces.
Yeah,
but
we said we've changed.
Each of the greens were different, you know, there were different speeds and all that kind of thing. So there was an adaptation that had to be made every single game. But as they just showed, they class outfit and a really good side and deserved winners. They did really, really well.
Yeah. Just shows again the strength of bowls in Cape Town lies in the northern suburbs.
We'll call it that for this weekend.
And then all the way down to Joburg for the Henselite Easter Festival.
Yes.
Played in that. What a nice tournament. 3 full greens. They had an interesting concept where on the last end, so it was 2 sets of 6 for a 12-end game, 2 points per set, 4 for the win. It gives you 8 points, but whoever wins the last end gets an additional 2 points to fill up the 10 points. So that was quite a nice look. It could be harsh because you could wick a shot and lose 2 points, but I quite enjoyed it. It was something different, something quite nice. And then Rich Park really put up a nice display there. With
interesting story there at Rich Park. Kevin Smith was telling me about it. Like who's involved there with the apartments around there, and who's running the show.
Yes, and I think it's Peter Miller. Owns the property, and they do so much out of Rich Park for the community. Not only the bowling community, but the surrounding community where they look after. You know, how can I say? What's a diplomatic word? Less fortunate.
Correct.
The less fortunate.
Okay.
You know, they've got meal packs and food packs that they give out, and they feed. I can't remember. They said they feed 180 people,
that's amazing.
and that's all with not only just Rich Park, but Henselite SA is involved there. So Wayne Rittmiller plays out of there. So you know they're doing some good stuff. But I must tell you, it's the first time I've played in a tournament where there's 2 bouncers outside the door. Where there's a sign up that says gun free zone, please hand in your weapons or your firearms at the bar for safekeeping. And the best one is at the kiddies play area, please, no adults allowed in the kids' toys. But lovely tournament. There you can see Peter Miller from Henselite South Africa in the orange shirt there as well. And the winners of that tournament, James Galloway, Brian Harrison, Boomy, and Mac. Okay. So they took the 32K home there.
Nice prize money, eh?
Yeah, and as I said, nice tournament. I'll tell you one thing: the Henselite Aero versus Aero sort of, I don't want to call it war, but tongue-in-cheek comments came through plenty over the weekend. I don't know if they thought I was some Aero ambassador, but every dig at about Henselite was sort of aimed at me.
Okay.
I bought my own bowls. I don't get nothing for free. It's but yeah, there's definitely some good banter going on between the 2 brands.
It's good.
It seems like it's only coming from one side though, and it's not the Aero side.
Yeah.
It seems like it's more coming from the Henselite field, you know, the banter and the chirps are coming from. Not so much the Aero side, but we move on swiftly to the Park Hill Easter tournament.
Yes.
And I have to say, I asked Wayne Roberts for a little bit of a write-up, and it took Wayne Roberts 2 days to respond. So within that 2 days of asking him, I asked Roger Bull, I'll Dodge, to send me a little bit of a write-up, and he sent me the most beautiful write-up. And about 5 hours later, I got like a 3-sentence one from Wayne Roberts. Clearly a bowler, a man of few words. I'm just going to read out here what Dodge said. The Hollywood Bets Park Hill Bowling Club competition is rated one of the most competitive festive competitions in the KZN bowling calendar. You start off with 4 teams per section, 3 games in your sectional play, and 7 sections. 10 teams go through to the cup, 7 top teams, and the 3 best second place finishers. The balance of the teams are split into 10 into the plate and 8 into the bowl, based on your points and your shot difference. The top 4 teams in each division now play for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place, and you carry all your points and shots from the first day. In our team, we had Wayne Roberts at skip, Dion Audi at 3rd, Dodge Bull at 2nd, and Bonga, I can't pronounce the surname, but Bonga at lead. I should have practiced that one. Bonga was voted our player of the tournament, who led like a machine. And in the final, all players contributed to a victory against a formidable team from Pietermaritzburg. Wonder who that is. And with our skip in great form in the last game, played some of the best shots I've seen anyone play in any tournament. Not ranked in the top 20 in the world for nothing. Dion Audi was steady throughout the tournament, and I'm sure we can expect him to get a call up for the Open A side soon. And our second Dodge, well, got better as the tournament progressed after a slow start. Very humble. Brad Robinson, Kevin Williams third, Calvin Hollis second, and Kevin Harkham lead. That's probably who they played in the final games.
Yeah.
Final score 24-9 after 16 ends. With the scoring system, a point per end and 4 points for win. We managed to get 16 out of 20 points and win the comp by 2 points. With an 8 in the second last game, added another 5K to our prize money, which made it 30,000, with a further 25 from Hollard for full house.
That's a nice sounding tournament. You win by 2 points. I mean, the Easter Classic was the same. Won by half a point.
Yeah, so that's what you want. Nice and close competitive games. But well done to them.
Yeah.
As you can see, our boys there. I'm very happy that Wayne and Dion's finding form, but they don't need to find form too early. You know, we want them to find form there, like by the 20th or the 21st of May only.
Yes,
Not yet, boys. Just keep it in. Hold back a little bit. And then up next, we're going to the very prestigious Sables Power Pairs, which was played over 4 days.
Okay.
There you can see your winners.
There they are, Jason Evans and Mr. Bowles, Sean Thomas.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got it. Sean sent us a snippet here from his experiences over the weekend. So they call themselves Team Talk to Me. We were all here that day. Talk to Me, Sean, when they won the best at the PBA the year before last. Compromising of Protea players Jason Evans and Sean Thomas, Mr. Bowles, aka, managed to win 50K at the Sables Power Pairs held at Krugersdorp and Witpoortjie over 4 days between the 3rd and 6th of April. There were 2 venues of 24 teams, so 48 in total. It was a random draw and thereafter strength versus strength. The format was 4 bowled pairs after 9 rounds and 3 days. In brackets, the top 4 teams at each venue progressed to the knockout rounds, qualifiers, semi-finals, and finals. They went through the 9 rounds with 1 loss, having played fellow Proteas Nexipin Gurrick and Wayne Perry 3 times. The first game and then twice the third day, losing the last round robin game, which saw Wayne also split the jack in 2 with a drive. Wow, okay. On the second day of the competition, we too managed to secure a full house of 8 bowls in the count. Well done, boys. This was the second year of this competition and is sure to go from strength to strength. Finding time on the calendar is always tricky, but with some small adjustments, I'm sure this will continue to attract a stiller field. Sounds like an amazing tournament.
It is, and I think it's a lot of bowls. It's 4 days.
Yeah.
So it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday
Yeah.
in a very strong field.
Yeah, correct.
Which I think it's also tough when you have to play the same side 3 times.
Yeah.
You know, means they were so far ahead or so close that when you lose, you play someone, win far, and you play each other again.
Yeah, there's been a few tournaments like that. You know, the old Otaneko Classic in George where you hear about guys having to play Billy 3 times on the last day and all that kind of thing. But
it happens.
Strength versus strength, so
yeah, it happens. Yeah, up next we've got our very first edition of the Anti-Bias Coach's Corner, brought to you by Grip and Stuff.
Hi everyone and welcome to the first segment of Coach's Corner, proudly brought to you by Grip and Stuff. Obviously one of the first steps is to apply your grip and stuff. So before we get started, I'm just going to apply a little bit on my fingertips just to get that little extra bit of grip that I need. The thing I've noticed over the past few months watching people play at different levels is the way they follow through on their delivery. Following through is a very important part of your delivery because it can affect your line, your weight, and the timing of your delivery and where you release your bowl. Let's get started. Common mistakes people make if they don't follow through is swinging their arm across their body, missing your line completely. Another mistake that can happen is that you release your bowl at the wrong time. So if you don't follow through and you have a jerk action, you might release the bowl here and it takes off that weight that you need to reach the head. Something I like to do during practice to make sure I follow through on the line is I look at my point of aim. When I bowl, I try to follow my bowl all the way down. So even if it's halfway up the green, I follow it with my arm just to make sure that my arm comes out straight. I'm going to demonstrate it now. I release and I try and follow with my hand as my ball rolls down the green. That ensures that my arm stays straight and that I actually deliver to my point of aim. If you practice this enough, it'll become second nature so that you don't have to think about anything during a game. It'll just be part of your delivery. Please note that this isn't necessarily a change to your delivery. It's an exaggerated method to practice. This will help you release your ball on the right line and at the correct time more consistently. Thank you for watching, and join us next time for the second segment of Coach's Corner, brought to you by Grip and Stuff.
Well, thank you very much, and very insightful there from the PBA Foundation head coach, Anneke Skeepers.
Very wise words. Thank you, Anna.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed where she said gripping stuff needs to be applied first.
Yes.
And it's so important. What you're saying about the follow through. If you have half a follow through, you just lose your weight, you lose your line. There were some pictures on there, and you see the guys actually where they're finishing with their hand. So yeah, thank you for that, Anneke. Thank you very much, Grip and Stuff, for your contribution to this video. Let's go across. The Western Province Junior Masters is being held this weekend at the under 35s at Durbanville, under 18s, under 15s at Edgemead. I just don't think I know or you know too much about the under 18s, under 15s.
Yeah, so what they've it's actually generally just under 18s. They haven't gone split under 15s and 18s. They've just done it. But what's really nice about it is that they've actually now got boys in the section and they've got girls in the section. So they haven't mixed them like years gone by, which is heartwarming because that's showing there's enough players, to get into that so they can split it into a girls section, into a boys section, which I think is brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, I think let's get to the under 35s. You're going to start with the girls. Section 1. You've got Gillian Young, Sean van Huisteen, Shaniqua Pretorius. I don't know who Em Redlinghuis is, and also don't know who...
I think it's Michelle Redlinghuis.
Michelle Redlinghuis, and I don't know who C. Duplessis from Kraaifontein.
KK.
But if you look at sort of that lineup there, you should think that Gillian...
Yes, well, the standout name there would be Gillian. I mean, she's
played SA Masters.
SA Masters, and she's just done recently very well with singles here at Durbanville. So yeah, you would think that's the one to beat. And they are playing here at Durbanville, so it's a home ground. So you would think that's the favourite, yeah.
Then we can go to Section 2. Brittany Clark, Caitlin Niemand, Michelle Reynolds.
Robin Cabal.
Yes, Robin Cabal. Couldn't get her name now.
Yes.
And Kim de Jager.
Yeah.
Also, interesting section. Michelle just recently played in the final of the singles against Anneke.
That's Anneke, correct. Yeah.
I think it was a 21-20 or 21-19 game, so that was very close. And I might get her the one to beat, actually.
I think so. I think Michelle is the one to beat in that section as well. I think we could quite easily see a Michelle Gillian final there.
Yeah.
But then, balls is balls.
Balls is balls. Anything happens. Anything can happen on the day.
Correct. Yep.
We cross over to the men.
Yes. So, very exciting group of players, yeah. There's one player that's missed out through work commitments. Obviously, Sandre,
Stockies.
And Vickers comes in for him. But yeah, very, very exciting group of under 35 players. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think if you look at the field, it's actually such a strong field for under 35s in our district. I mean, we're very fortunate to actually have a proper feeding pool of younger players that hopefully steps up like someone like Armand did. And gets through the ranks and goes and plays A side and this is probably where it starts. This is where you get noticed. So very strong field that Section A. You've got Armand Ascari, Daniel Griebenau, old Millies as he's known, Dan Vaughan, Erkies Venter, Vickers, Van Niekerk, and Tyler Pitcher. Very strong group.
Very nice group that. You know,
You-
I've gone through it and I've had a little look, and I'm probably going to flag 3 games there. I think the Dan Amant game, there's maybe a bit of needle there from a previous under 34 Masters that Dan won, and the two of them met each other in the final a couple of years back. And then I think Tyler and Amant's also going to be a game to watch as well, especially where that's going to happen. It's going to be, they play each other last game. You know, for me, one of the most natural deliveries I've seen in the bowls again, in the game of bowls is Tyler, and he's again at Durbanville on his home ground, so that for me is going to be also a good game to watch.
Yeah, for me, Tyler, I like Tyler for that section, to be honest. At Durbanville, between him and Erkies for that section, I think they're the two that I'm going to back there, not because Armand's not a good player, just Erkies spends 6 days a week on these greens, especially on the A green. He's tough to beat on these greens. He knows it better than anyone. Tyler knows his greens very well. Tyler's bowls are very much suited for the surfaces. Yeah. And those two are going to be my picks.
I think so. I think it's between Tyler. I'm not going to go with Erkies here, but I'm going to go between Tyler, Dan, and Amant for who's going to come out top there.
Yeah, you know what happens when I back Dan? He goes out the night before, so I'm not backing him this time. My national space.
I don't think he watches our show, but anyway.
No, he doesn't. On to section 2.
Yes, on to section 2. So we've got Rowan Stone, Ryan Tudor, Luke Ellis, Tom from Plumstead.
Oh, Thomas Squeegee
from Plumstead. And we've got Choppy.
Yeah.
Andre Orenser.
Andre Roberts.
Soccer player, sorry, where'd we go? Andre Roberts, sorry, excuse me. And the Mornay Skippers.
Oh, lucky to be in.
You made it.
Yeah, well, just because I'm of age. I sort of had to remind them that I'm old enough to play.
Yeah, but you know what? I think you deserve to be there. And if I'm going to pick a game out of that bunch on that weekend, I'm looking forward to you playing Ryan. I think that's going to be a hell of a game to watch. And then, funny enough, another game that I think could quite be an interesting game to watch is Choppy and Ryan. So those are 2 games I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, my 2 picks, because I'm not going to pick myself, just because I've not been in the best form, and someone like Luke Ellis, I've never beaten him.
Okay.
In any form of format. But these are one of my picks. My picks would be Rowan Stone and Ryan Tudor.
Okay. I think Ryan's definitely up there. He's just got that. He's got that full array of shots. He's got that big gun on him. He's got that deft touch draw on him. He can play that meter or two, and so do you. So those are my 2 picks myself. You and Ryan.
Very brave, Ampo. You can see you're not a betting man.
No pressure.
No pressure. So one thing that we've hasn't really been advertised is Bowl South Africa Disability Nationals. It's happening down in Eden. And as they call themselves, the wheelies, the wobblies, and the blindies, as they call themselves. I did ask permission first to if it's allowed to say that on show, and I was told that I've got given the green light. That's how they refer to themselves. Yeah. Always an interesting week. I went to watch them a couple of years ago when they played out at Somerset West, and how good that was. To see the quality and the standard of bowls. Someone might be visually impaired, and the way they play with their guide, not a guide, what do you call it? Director,
yes.
Director, and how close they get. So we were fortunate enough to actually touch base with Gareth Rees-Gibbs early on in the week. He's a 2-time international medalist. Silver medalist in the World Champs in 2023, and a bronze medalist at the Multi-Nations in the same year. So we were lucky catch up with Gareth, and we're going to get some insight from Gareth regarding the Disability Nationals.
Nice.
The classifications are all in line with the International Paralympic Committee. So they range from a B1 to a B8 in our bowls, in bowls in general at the moment. A B1 to a B4 is like your blind guys, or your visually impaired people. That's, if you would rather use the correct term, the visually impaired. And then the B6s to B8s are all physically impaired bowlers. We've got a team of classifiers for your B6s to your B8s. There are medical classifiers and technical classifiers that do courses, and they're like a subcommittee that actually do this throughout the year to classify someone in terms of what their disability and where they would fall in their categories. So they've done training on it. It's like a specific thing. And they, obviously, it's got to do with what the actual diagnosis is of what the disability is, ranging from if somebody's got cerebral palsy or they've been involved in an accident and they've lost a limb, those kind of things. When it gets to blind guys, they've got a test called a Logbar test, which is a specific test that they test what the actual visual capability of the person is in terms of the visually impaired players. Yeah, so it is. Our nationals are down. So Hartenbosch is headquarters, and then Mosselbaai and Grootbroek are the play where the physically disabled guys will be playing. I could be under correction, but I think the visually impaired players might be playing at those three clubs and including Vista. Obviously, clubs need to be like, when they hold these kind of things, there's a lot of requirements a club needs. So just for interest's sake, ramps and access to the club, access to toilets, those kind of things. And then obviously from a parking space to the greens or to the club, it's got to be a sort of a flattish type surface. So the Bowl South Africa does go and inspect these places, and they go look through it and they do a checklist. So when the guys want to hold these tournaments, they need to sort of comply, because you've got a lot of guys in wheelchairs and a lot of people with mobility issues. And obviously toilets need a certain width to get just through the door, if you know what I'm trying to say. So we obviously look at those kind of things before they can hold such tournaments. Correct. So in the actual Crystal Mark edition, there is a section there. They've got to be pneumatic tires. They've given you the whole, I can't remember exactly what the distances and those kind of things are. But in the Crystal Mark 4, or the latest edition of the Laws of Our Sport, there is a section there. And it tells you exactly that they've got to be pneumatic tires and they've got to be a certain width and those kind of things, so that they don't damage. But on top of that, when we do have our wheelchair players on the green, we do also ask them to not do from the mat when they're moving off the mat after they've delivered. We ask them not to do like sharp turns and things like that, rather just wheel yourself off it. It'd be like a bigger, wider thing, so it doesn't dig up the grass or damage the green. So we're quite respectful about that. Okay, so the singles will be played as per category. So you'll have a B1 singles, a B2 singles competition, a B3 singles competition, right up to B8. So they'll have their own individual singles tournaments. And then in terms of the lady, obviously it's also split into men and to ladies. The ladies run their own singles tournament with their own pairs tournament. But it gets quite in terms of the physically disabled. I'll start with that one first because it's quite complicated. So they've got singles from B6s to B8s, okay, and then the pairs tournament is like a group together. We try and, because our ladies aren't as big as the men, there's more men entries. The ladies play pairs in terms of how they go together with no real point system rule, but we try and keep it in like a 15 points. So if you're a B6, you carry 6 points. If you're a B8, you carry 8 points, which will give you your 15, or your 14, I mean. And if you're a B7 and a B8, you'll give you your 15 points. In the men, we're really strict about it so that we have exactly a 15-point rule system. But we've tried to do something different in terms of the pairs there, where we've gone, okay, guys that have entered, we've put them into like a B13 group, a B14 group, and a B15 group of sections, so that it gives, you know, like the more experienced guys that have been playing for a long time, they've normally got their pairs partners already all organized, and they play with each other at the tournament every year that it happens. We go down with the same sort of guys, and we play with the same sort of combinations. So you'll find a B7 and a B8 are with together, and they're doing well in the tournament every year after year after year. So we've actually just tried to like change it up a bit this year. It's something new that we're trying. It's experiment basically, but it's just to see if we can try and run, and maybe it will bring more people to the party where they'll be paired up with new people, because they obviously, the new people that have been classified don't know anybody, because this only happens once a year and we're all countrywide. So it's to try and give folks another opportunity to sort of play more competitively and within a point system to make it more fair. So if they in a B13 group or a 13 group point system, they'll have more chances, or you know, that kind of thing, just to make it more attractive to people to come and play. Thank you so much. And I just want to actually mention there the organizing committee down there, headed by Owen Calvary. They've been doing such a sterling job. Absolute, the information that comes through is very up there. Obviously, I'm in Joburg. I've got my own job to do. I also get involved in the other nitty-gritty stuff, give my inputs. But the guys that have been running it so far there, including Graham Ward, who's the president of VIPSA, which is the Visually Impaired Bowlers of South Africa, and his committee, and everybody that gets involved, including Bowls South Africa, Owen James, who's obviously, I'm sure people know Owen James very well. And then my committee that's always behind me as well, they also step in and they get involved. So I just want to put out a big thank you every year that this happens, and every time that we're getting to it and we're doing this kind of thing. It's not an easy tournament to organize, because you're running not just like a normal nationals where it's your pairs, your fours, and your singles per gender. This is like B1, B6, you know, all these different singles. So we've got a whole lot of tournaments that we're trying to run through. So it's a big thank you to those guys, and thank you for the keen interest that you guys have shown, Morné, in terms of our nationals. It really is a celebration of bowls for us, and it's a celebration of our ability to play the game.
By this time, we can't say safe travels, because they should probably be at their venues or at Eden at their accommodation already. So,
What a nice part of the world to play in.
Yeah. Gareth's going to be sending us some video clips and some content from the nationals, which we'll post on the Facebook page and share with you during the week. But yeah, thanks again, Gareth. We really appreciate it, and thanks for the work you do as well. Yeah, MP, So, interesting weekend ahead for us, for everyone involved in the Western Province,
Yep.
for the disability guys. Like always, we've got to remember to thank One for the Road.
100%.
Because of them, we can have one or two of these more than we should. And they can pick you up from your venue where you are and they drive your car home. So safety first.
Yep.
Apparently, you used it quite a lot on Thursday and Friday evening last week.
Well, you know, these things happen. Short week.
Yeah, I've got inside info there on your usage from last week.
Yeah, okay.
At least we know you were safe.
100%. Got home safe. Got to the venue safe. Got home safe. But,
And that's why they are there.
Correct, yeah.
So as bowlers, and as we said last week, they're not just Cape Town bound, they are across the country.
not quite in the US yet, but anyway.
Not quite in the US for Tiger Woods. But yeah, they do operate nationwide. Next week, we've got an interesting show.
Okay.
Got a special guest coming on next week.
Okay.
And we're going to discuss a bit of the overload of artificial intelligence in the marketing in bowls currently.
Okay.
The absolute overload of that. So we're going to have our big mate Wade Pretorius join us. I'm sure he's been prepping this whole week already. Can't wait to get in studio next week.
Great job.
Although he says he doesn't like the mic as much, he does love the mic.
I think he's a natural talent for the mic. If you ask me.
He is, definitely is. And he's probably not watching us tonight because he's watching the Masters golf.
Correct. Yeah. Big golf fan.
Yeah. Yeah, guys. So tonight we do see there's some technical issues and glitches. I don't think it's from our side as much. I think there might be a Facebook issue. We will be sharing some of the content on the Facebook page during the evening. So apologies for the buffering. It's not from us, from the venue. We think it's a Facebook issue. But on that note, Hampy, thank you very much. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, 100%. It's always a pleasure being here. And again, a big thank you to Bits and Pixels for what they're doing for us with this production. And I just want to take a minute to wish you good luck for the weekend.
Thanks, Paul.
Go out there and show your class and do well. And guys, I was extremely fortunate to be part of this Junior Masters last year. I got asked to commentate. You unfortunately couldn't make it. You were away for the weekend, so myself and Amon stepped in and commentary on the final day. And it was an absolute pleasure just seeing the characters and the personalities within this. The junior crowd under 15s and 18s was, I mean, if it doesn't bring a smile to your face, nothing will, And then the shot play and everything, up in the under 35s and checking the talent there was just amazing. So if you've got time tomorrow and you're close to the venues and you're close to Durbanville and you're close to Edgemead, do yourself a favor and go down and watch what the kids are putting down and what the under 35s are putting down. You'll do yourself a favor. You will absolutely love it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ampy. And I think you sounded out correctly. I think we're in a privileged position, a healthy place. I know the results at open level don't show it yet, but we'll be a force again quite soon with all the youngsters coming through, men and women. And there will be streaming on Cape Town Talking Heads. For those of you playing in the men's nationals, the draw has been published. I think it's officially been published. I'm not sure if it's been officially, but it's out there. It's in circulation. Pop down to download the PBA Bowlsmaster app. See if you can see the live or the draws there. If not, wait till day or two for sign-off from BSA. But it will be published there. So PBA Bowlsmaster app, don't forget to download that. Follow. I'm pretty sure they're doing something on the weekend. You can get all the results after the rounds on the PBA Bowlsmaster app. But yeah, enjoy your weekend. Hampo, thank you very much. As always, a pleasure speaking with you and doing this with you. It's been a great journey so far. And every week we enjoy it a bit more than we did the week before.
100%. Magic.
That we say good night.
Cheers.